The Pentagon is a funnel. Not that funnel. The Pentagon is a funnel by which taxpayers fund the profits of high-tech industry. It's called the military-industrial complex, although it might as well be now called the techno-industrial complex. Not that technical. As far as I know, the only president to ever publicly acknowledge the existence of the military-industrial complex was Dwight D. Eisenhower in his farewell address in 1961. He says, "In the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex. The potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power exists and will persist." Now, what does he mean? Eisenhower was warning us. It took a world war, and thus a command economy, to pull America out of the Great Depression. After World War II, it was well understood by the ruling class that if they were to keep capitalism going, it would need massive government spending and regulations. The free market could simply not exist on its own. This idea was spearheaded by John Maynard Keynes in what was called Keynesian economics. It basically just meant that government needed to spend money to keep the economy going. The question for U.S. planners then became, what was the government going to spend money on? Was it going to spend money on public programs, such as infrastructure, education, transportation, schools, healthcare, democratic reform, etc.? No. That plan had a major drawback. The public, they feared, might actually get involved. The public might have funny ideas about how their money was being used. This was a big threat. It was actually called the crisis of democracy. I'm not joking. This was actually a report published by the Trilateral Commission in 1975. It's basically a document expressing the pearl-clutching fear of the ruling class against an excess of democracy. Thus, it was decided that the public money would be sent to private corporations, weapons industries, defense contractors, while a massive PR campaign was concocted to induce the public into fear over foreign enemies. This idea, of course, is nothing new. It's an old tactic in the US playbook. It is what led writer H.L. Mencken to proclaim the whole aim of practical politics is to keep the populace alarmed and hence clamorous to be led to safety by menacing it with an endless series of hobgoblins, all of them imaginary. And over a century later, we are still fighting the Russians today.